Hey guys, how you doing? So this is going to be the long form format of a video I just did, a short. The four elements that makes for a successful web developer. I'm going to give you some tips at the back end of this video, actionable advice. So, tip number one, you got to become a master of the fundamentals. The biggest mistake that noobs will make is they think that if they want to get ahead, they should jump to the advanced subjects. Decades ago, one of my buddies who was a very experienced developer, worked on Apple, worked at Microsoft and many other big companies, and he gave me that advice. He said, Steph, you want to become a great developer, you want to learn a language, just get a beginner's book, get the fundamentals book. Master the fundamentals, everything is easy. So tip number one, master the fundamentals. So in the web stack, you want to do your HTML, you want to do your CSS, you want to do your JavaScript, you want to do all vanilla, get really good at that. Once you get really good at that, to learn a React, to learn a Bootstrap, or whatever other framework and library you want within the web area is going to be so much easier. Tip number two. Tip number two. You got to have great communication skills. This is number two thing. The number two thing that recruiters look for when they're prospecting new employees is whether or not they can communicate well. Can you communicate well? Can you talk well? See, this is what happens. When I started coding, I had all my hair, and then I wrote some Ruby code, and I started going bald. So, yeah, you've been warned. So, yeah, so the second thing they look for after a good mastery of the fundamentals, they look for people who have good communication skills. You have to understand when you're writing code, when you're writing software, you're working with other people, right? And because you're working with other people, you have to be able to communicate with them because when you're writing software, there's a lot of complexity there, right? You're communicating a lot of complexity. So if you don't have good communication skills, verbal and written, not too good. I'm going to give you some tips on how to get better at communication on the back end of this video. Number three, you have to have good emotional control, good emotional skills. You have to master your lizard brain. This is supremely important. It's going to have a huge impact on all aspects of your life. In fact, for my mentoring program, I built a course specifically for that reason. It's called a Lizard Wizard. And why is it called a Lizard Wizard? Because when you master your lizard brain, which is your emotional brain, you become a wizard. You become a wizard of your own environment. So mastering your emotions, mastering your lizard brain, or even just getting a bit better at it with practical skills, it will allow you to learn much more easily, to get jobs much more easily, to get in better shape much more easily, to pick up much more easily. It's just such an important thing. Master your lizard brain. I cannot overemphasize that. In fact, after the orientation course in my mentoring program, that's the second course that people take. Before they learn how to code, they learn the lizard brain because by learning the lizard brain techniques and theory, their the process of learning to code becomes so much easier. It's incredible. And the fourth thing, this is probably going to surprise you, and I've been touching on this more and more and more, health. You got to become healthier. If you got a healthier body, you eat better foods, natural foods, you get away from the junk foods, you get your body fat percentage down to something reasonable. Men should be under 20% body fat, women maybe 20%, 21%, ideally 15%. You get healthier, exercise on a regular basis, lift weights, lift heavy stuff, put it down, lift it again, put it down. Trust me, your cognitive capacity will increase considerably. Your energy levels will increase considerably. You're going to feel much better about yourself. Your mood is going to increase. That's why I talk about it. So if you want to learn how to code, which could be a stressful, anxiety-provoking endeavor, and when you are a software developer, it can be anxiety and stress-inducing endeavor as well. Being in shape, eating proper food is going to help you in a huge way that you have no idea. You have no idea. Hold on a second. I saw this kid do this. I'm going to put my mic here on my hat. See how that goes. You let me know in the comments if this sounds better. It's touching my ear. Give me a second. No. Put it in the front. There you go. You let me know in the comments if this setup here is actually useful in terms of listening. So there, those are the four things. Learn your fundamentals, get good communication skills, master your lizard brain, and get in shape, eat healthy foods, exercise on a regular basis, get the body fat percentage under 20%. This is what makes a super successful developers, believe it or not. So now, as promised, I'm going to give you some tips in terms of actionable tips for each of these things. So when you're learning the fundamentals, you want to do tip number one, minimum 20 minutes a day, maximum 4 hours a day. Minimum 20 minutes, maximum 4 hours a day. Tip number two, well, the 20 minutes a day, I'm not assuming you're just going to learn with 20 minutes a day. That's a bit of a hack to get you to the keyboard so you can start actually learning the code. You don't want to go over 4 hours a day because the brain has a maximum capacity in terms of its high load of, and when you're learning something new, it's a high load on the brain. So, you know, if you do your 4 hours, you've done enough. If you don't feel like coding, just do that 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes you don't feel like doing it anymore, you've done your 20 minutes, at least you've moved the ball forward. Tip number two, you want to train 4 to 5 days a week. 4 to 5 days a week. Not 7, 4 to 5 days a week, and you want to give yourself a break in there. So let's say you code, you spend time learning to code Monday, Tuesday, you take Wednesday off. You go exercise or something. Then Thursday, Friday you code again, take Saturday off, maybe Sunday off, then start up again Monday. The reason for this, again, it's just like training. You gotta give your body, or in this case your brain, chance to rest and to accumulate the knowledge. So yeah, when you learn the code, you want to do, as I said, you want to do that. Let me just fix this. Hold on. So yeah, when you learn the code, you want to do 4 to 5 days a week. Give yourself time off. So that's tip number two. Tip number three, write code. You got to write code. If you don't write code every day, you're going to find yourself not learning. By writing code, you learn much more quickly. Even if you don't understand the code that you're writing, write code when you sit down to learn. Even if just a few lines of code, trust me, it's going to make a big difference. Okay, number two, when it comes to communication skills, the best way to get better at communication is actually to learn to write better. How do you write better? I'm a published author, by the way. I have a book, many magazine articles. So you go check out my book on Amazon, Web Design Start Here. It's a beginner's book. Anyhow, so what do you got to do? So it's kind of like writing software. When you write out your ideas, intro paragraph, bullet point 1, bullet point 2, bullet point 3, write your paragraph. Don't try to find the perfect words in the first draft. Just get it done from A to Z. Then you go back, you wait 5 minutes, you go back and you reread it and you simplify. You look to strip out unnecessary words, look to get to the point much more quickly. And then you do it again. You wait another 10 minutes, whatever, half an hour, whatever you need. Go back again, reread it again with fresh eyes, and strip out and simplify. And if you do those things, it's gonna go a long way to training your brain to communicate in a more succinct and professional manner. When you are writing and whenever you're communicating, you have to communicate in a professional manner. That means get to the point, simple, and be very simple. Okay, for number three, my battery's about to go. So number three, when it comes to lizard brain, look at meditation, look at creating very simple habits like I think that guy Peterson talked about it. It's an old military trick. Make your bed in the morning. It starts creating a discipline. Every morning you make your bed, when you start getting frustrated about something, deep breath, deep breathing through your nose, in for 3, out for 6, in for 3, and then you just learn to relax, learn to relax, learn to relax. All right. And number 4, exercise. Eat natural food. Some tips: slowly, gradually get rid of the crappy food that you have in your diet. So what I did when I was a big fat slob, I used to eat a whole pizza, medium pizza on my own, which was 8 slices. So what you want to do is you want to cut that down. So I would, first day, instead of eating 8 slices, I would eat 7. Then a week later, I would cut it down to eating 6 slices. And then 5 and 4 and 3 and 2, and etc. You get the idea. So gradually get off. and start replacing crappy food like chips and hot dogs with healthier foods. You know, instead of a hot dog and a couple of cheeseburgers, get some barbecue chicken or barbecue steak or something. Slowly switch out the crap food for natural food, unprocessed foods. Cut out the sugars. There you go. My battery's about to go, so I'll let you go. I hope you found this useful. If you did, let me know in the comments below. Cheers. I'm Uncle Steph. Check out my links below for all my stuff.